Assalamu alaikum. Thank you so much. So I will shift my speech from French into English because the title of this presentation is about metaphor. Can it be translated or reproduced? In this presentation, I will be dealing with the first of all introduction, then distinguish between two kinds of metaphors. The first one, which is common metaphor, and the second one is specific metaphor, and then conclusion. Of course, I'm not going to mingle in some typologies like Dickens or LACGAR, but of course this is ZAHID typology. So before please tackling this issue of metaphor, please should bear in mind these abbreviations. So the first one is the SL, meaning source language, TL, target language, SC, source culture, and TC, target culture. These are what we use in these abbreviations, so please take them into consideration. So first of all, we can distinguish between two kinds of metaphors. The first metaphor, which is very simple, common metaphor. And I mean by common metaphor is a metaphor which is shared by two or more cultures. Alright? And here, language and culture go side by side. And culture is not an obstacle. This is my first category. The second category is called specific metaphor. And I mean by specific metaphor, a metaphor recently which is not shared by two or more cultures. And the problem here is, in this metaphor, it is more cultural than linguistic. Because the first metaphor, which is common, is more linguistic, but the second, which is specific, is very simply is cultural. So how can we, of course, render these kind of metaphors? We have to focus on some techniques, either in translating or reproducing these kind of metaphors, either specific or common. The first strategy or technique that we're going to use in common metaphor is called translating the source language metaphor by the same or similar vehicle in the target language. Here we have taken examples from Shakespeare, Sonnet 19, lines 1-4, in which it says, "Devour time, blunt though the lion's paws, and make the earth devour her own sweet brood, pluck the keen teeth from the fierce tiger jaws, and burn the long-lived in her blood." So ترجمناها للغة العربية كما يلي: الزمان الملتهم يكل حتى أظافر الليل، يجعل الأرض تلتهم صغارها المحبوبين، يقتلع الأسنان الحادة من فك النمل الطاغي، يحرق دم العنقاء المعمرة. So all these images of metaphors in this poem, they are very simple, shared by two cultures. I mean by two cultures here, between English and Arabic. And in both cultures, the concept of time is a predator animal destroying everything in its way. So when I say time devours, ويعني بالعربية يلتهم, or blunt, يعني يكيل, or makes the earth devour her brood, يجعل الأرض تلتهم صغارها, or plucks the teeth, يقلع الأسنان, and burns the blood, يحرق الدم. All these images are frequent images in Arabic. And a literal translation using the same vehicle, which is the first technique, will serve and convey the poet's meaning. So this is my first technique we're going to use in translating the common metaphor. The second one, the second strategy is called translating the source language metaphor by different vehicle in the target language. In this example, we will show that in spite of the fact that some source language metaphors share an image with the target language. For example, if an image metaphor shares the same culture, image as a metaphor in Arabic, but sometimes keeping the same vehicle would destroy the meaning. That's why we have to change it by different vehicle in the target language. And here's an example. Again from Shakespeare, Sonnet 19, line 15. My love, or my love, shall in my verse ever live young. ترجمناها سيبقى حبي يانعا أبدا في شعر. The problem or the idea expressed in the source language is trade between two cultures, or between the source language and then the target language. But if we choose to translate young as shab, it would not harmonize with the Arabic translation. If we say, for instance, سيبقى حبي شابا أبدا في شعري, it does not give that meaning or real meaning in Arabic. That's why we have chosen this kind of translation. So this is my second technique. The third technique is what's called reducing the source metaphor to sense and ground. And I mean here, this kind of strategy, of course, is used to render the meaning of the metaphor. Sometimes it's not easy to find for some metaphors the appropriate vehicle in the target language. This translation seems to be, as was quoted, as a scanning process, but of course with a different taste or color. In this case, the translator tries to keep an adequate correspondent to keep the same image. Example, again Shakespeare, Sonnet 18, line 9. But the eternal summer shall not fade. ترجمناها ولكن الصيف الأزلي لن يوارى الأنظار. Here, a literal translation of the verb fade, meaning in Arabic تلاشى أو يخفت, is not suitable for time generally and summertime in the source poem. Normally, تلاشى is used for depicting material material things such as flowers. So the common metaphor here is reduced to sense by yuara tara, which is more suitable in talasha. Alright? Then the fourth technique is called converting the source language metaphor to a target language simile. Here's an example again from Macbeth, Act 5, Scene 5, line 25. Shakespeare says, life's but a walking shadow, a poor player that struts and frets in hour up on the stage, and then is heard no more. ترجمناها للغة العربية ما الحياة إلا كمشي في الظل وكمسرح يتبختر فيه الإنسان الضعيف وسرعان ما يقضي ساعة ثم لا يسمع بعدها. The image of life being compared to a shadow is frequently used in Arabic and English, poetry of course, to stress that life is very short. The simile structure, كمشي في الظل, has also contributed to this emphasis. Life is also stage, كمسرح. A translation by simile is chosen here to create a kind of parallelism between كمشي and كمسرح, which contributes to an internal rhythmic structure. The last technique, and we'll go to please to what's called specific metaphor, which is category number 2. And as I said, specific metaphors are metaphors which are not shared by two cultures or more. So the problem here is more cultural than linguistic. So we have here 5 strategies in reproducing these kind of metaphors. The first one is what's called retaining the specific source language metaphor by the same or similar vehicle in the target language. Again, Shakespeare, I have no words. My voice is my sword. Act 5, Scene 5, 8, lines 7 and 8. ترجمناها باللغة العربية. ليس عندي ما أقوله لساني هو سيفي. And as you see, there is my voice, the word my voice. My voice is my sword, is a specific metaphor which can be reproduced with the same target metaphor. In fact, the Shakespearean image is expressed in Arabic by lisan, rather than salt. The reason of this strategic decision is the close relationship between lisan and salt. So of course, if you say salty wasafi, would seem very outward in the Arabic culture and language. The second technique, retaining the specific metaphor by a different vehicle in the target language. I take again Shakespeare from Hamlet, Act 1, Scene 5, line 98. From the table of my memory, I will wipe away all trivial found records and stores of books, all forms, all precious past. That youth and observation copied that. ترجمناها من مذكرة ذاكرتي سأمحو كل التسجيلات الغالية والتافهة كل رفوف الكتب كل أعباء الماضي كل شيء كل ما دونه الشباب هناك. Here, the table of memory is a specific metaphor which is translated by مذكرة ذاكرتي. If we choose a literal translation like من ضدت ذاكرتي أو طاولة ذاكرتي, we'd like the expressive function, which is an important element in a literary translation. So memory in Arabic culture is always compared to a book or a diary rather than a table. So if we say من طاولة ذاكرتي would sound outward in the Arab culture, in Arab language. The third one, the third technique in reducing the specific metaphor is called reducing the specific metaphor to the ground and sense. And here's an example. An icy stare. ترجمناها بنظرة تجاهل أو نظرة ازدراء. Here, in English, icy stare is used to describe a chilling manner. To translate the same meaning into Arabic by the same vehicle, نظرة جليدية, would be meaningless. Arabic, however, uses a non-metaphorical structure. Because in Arabic we can say نظرة تجاهل أو نظرة ازدراء. Again, نظرة جليدية would seem not acceptable in the Arabic culture. The fourth one, the first one is converting the specific. Thank you. Excellent. Converting the specific source metaphor, it was called a simile. Here, example, she was happy as a pig in a slough. ترجمناها للغة العربية تأرن كما أرن المهر. In Arabic, the pig, خنزير, has negative connotations. It is an insult to compare someone to a pig. It is a perfect example of a specific metaphor that cannot in any way be translated as it is in the source language. In contrast, Arabic culture uses a fowl for a happy girl. So saying تأرن كما أرن الخنزير would be an insult in the Arabic culture. That's why I've chosen تأرن كما أرن المخ. هذيك المهرة هذيك اللي عروس صغيرة تكون نشط. كيف And the last one, converting a specific metaphor into a target metaphor. So translating by a target culture specific metaphor is the only distinctive technique between differentiating between what's called common metaphor and specific one. In the process of translation by metaphor, the image of the source language metaphor becomes the focus point, which needs to be reproduced by another local image more appropriate in the target culture. Example: let him stew in his own juice. We use this expression when someone is left suffering the consequences of his own folly actions. فَقِلْنَاهَا كُلُّ شَأْتٍ يُرْجِلْهَا فَعَلًا. A literal translation إذا ترجمناها حرفيا دعه يقهى في مرقه is meaningless in Arabic. So to render the image in which one would bear the consequences of his acts, Arabic culture uses the image of hanging a sheep from its leg after being slaughtered. Here, the specific source language metaphor is translated by the target language metaphor. I conclude. There are two kinds of metaphors. The first metaphor is called common metaphor, which is a metaphor shared by two or more cultures. And the point here is more linguistic than culture. The culture does not stand as an obstacle, but a specific metaphor, which is more cultural. The culture here stands as an obstacle. So from our research, we have certain points that we have to remarks from this research. The first one is this: the common metaphor together with the first kind of space metaphor is frequently used or placed in the target language, whereas the second kind of space metaphor, which is purely cultural, needs to be reproduced. The second one, it seems that specific metaphor embedded two types. The first one, although specific, is translatable linguistically and culturally, whereas the second one is purely cultural. Culture in this case stands as an obstacle for the translation process. The third one, the translator should be bicultural and bilingual at the same time while translating the metaphor. Thank you so much.